Welcome to Monday Jazz and Conversation, presented by a collaboration of 4 nonprofit organizations: Gold Coast Jazz Society, South Florida Jazz, Sunshine Jazz Organization, and the Miami Jazz Cooperative, all of whom are dedicated to bringing jazz to South Florida audiences. Each Monday, Wendy Peterson and Nikki Orta feature the music and talk to the country's most talented and interesting jazz musicians.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome John Fedchuk to the hang.
Hi, everybody. Great to be here.
The amazing and beautiful and the world's best person, Brenda Alford.
Hi, Brenda.
Live up to that.
Okay, I got some living to do.
Please welcome to Jazz and Conversation the amazing Joe Donato. Joey D.
Joe.
How are you? I'm so
Good evening,
sad
ladies and
that
gentlemen.
we
This
gave
is
you
Ralph
stress.
Edwards, and tonight, it's Joe Donato. This is your life.
And now, the hosts of Monday Jazz and Conversation, Wendy Peterson and Nikki Orta.
Hello.
Hi again. It is May.
It's May. Happy May. We're so glad we've made it this far. And we're glad that you are on this journey with us. This week we have some really fun guests tonight. These are a couple of guys that have they're not from Miami or South Florida, right, that I know of. Maybe we'll find something revelatory tonight. Ooh. But they have been a regular fixture at the Miami Jazz Cooperative over the years, and they've always been a big hit, and they are so fantastic and they're so fun, and we're really glad to have them on tonight. And I, of course, am speaking about Peter and Will Anderson, and they're showing up in the picture with saxes, but they play multiple. I guess they play the winds,
reeds,
wood
winds. Guys are solid.
So we're going to hear them play live tonight. We're going to watch videos. We're going to learn all about them. And I guess to start it off, we're just going to listen to a video from them, and then we'll introduce them and talk to them and hear them play live too.
Yeah.
So here they are, Peter and Will Anderson. That is so much fun.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Good stuff.
I have so many questions. I'm just going to say that right now. I'm warning you now, Peter and Will. I'm warning you. I have so many questions. So let's bring them on. Please welcome Peter and Will Anderson.
Hey, guys.
How are you?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having us.
Oh,
Good to see
man,
ya.
you guys sound so amazing. It's so fun.
Thanks. Well, that was back in the days when there were live concerts, and that was really a blast. That was probably one of the best concerts that we ever had. That was at Jazz in Lincoln Center. We were really lucky to be part of that event. It was a tribute to Tommy and Jimmy Dorsey, who were one of the great brother teams in jazz. And so we had Wycliffe on the concert, and it was just a blast. New York City, Jazz Lincoln Center is really one of the gems we have here. So
For sure.
I'm glad we got that videotaped and just.
And you guys curated that and kind of like created the whole show?
Yeah, we created the whole arc of the show, all the arrangements, and one of our mentors, Lauren Schoenberg, crafted a script to go along with it. And then one of the actors from The Wire, Clark Peters, narrated the show.
Oh, that's great.
So that was a lot of fun, just collaborating with all those great minds, jazz historians and actors and musicians. It was a pretty cool experience.
So is that show archived? Is that something that you could go back and watch? The whole thing?
Yeah, the whole thing's on our YouTube channel, so you can
cool.
check that out. Yeah.
Very cool.
Oh yeah, there's loads of videos and good things on your website and YouTube channel. I guess your website is linked to your YouTube channel as well?
Yeah, we keep everything there. We try, especially during this pandemic time, it was a great time for us to go back and dig into all of our archive shows that we've given, like all over the country and the world.
Right.
And since we aren't performing as much in the past year, it was a good chance to kind of release all those on our channel so people could stay in touch with us and kind of keep us in mind. And
sure.
It also gave us a lot of artistic fulfillment to be able to release these concerts to a broader audience that couldn't attend them in person. Right.
That's great. Yeah, so definitely go. So if we have your the website, peterandwillanderson.com, but if we were on YouTube, you just plug in the same thing, Peter and Will Anderson, and you've got a channel.
Yeah.
And we encourage everybody to subscribe. And if you're watching this on Facebook, please share it to your friends so that other people will get to see this too and discover new things. Or if they already know who we are and you are, then they'll just get a lovely treat.
Yeah. And speaking of gigs.
Oh yeah, so we started this. I don't know if you know this. We started this pretty much when a couple weeks after the pandemic started, because as you know, because you've done our Monday night at Open Stage.
Yes.
We used to present music every Monday night, and once the pandemic hit, it was such kind of like a shock to us all. First of all, and then we were thinking, gosh, we don't want people out of the habit of live music on Monday nights. We want them to kind of keep the space, available. So we just kind of this is what we came up with. So we've been doing this, but we treat this like a gig, like you are, our gigging, working musician. And so please, we entreat everybody, if you can, please support our musicians. We have a tip jar, an electronic tip jar, virtual tip jar set up, and the first $100 is matched. And all you have to do is text the word tip jar to the number 44321. And all that does is it sends you an immediate text back with a link, a very secure link, and you can use PayPal, you can use, I don't know, whatever else you use, credit card, and put the money in the tip jar, whatever you can afford. That would be awesome. The first $100 will be matched, but all of the money at the end of this show goes directly to Peter and Will. We do not take a cent of it.
Not a cent.
It goes all to them, and that's just a way to keep, not that we can solve the problems of a year of without work,
Right.
but at least it's something. At least if we feel like we're relevant in a weird way. So my question for you, I have so many questions. First of all, I'm an only child, so I don't really understand the whole sibling thing. I feel like I didn't learn how to communicate like maybe I should have and fight, twins. You don't know anything else. Do you have other siblings?
Yeah, we do have we have an older sister. She's 8 years older.
Okay.
So, she kept us from fighting. And one of the reasons why we're alive right now is because we had our sister. She babysat for us. She took care of us. And her name's Jane. She lives in Dallas. And we visit her as much as we can. And she actually played violin in high school. And that was one of the inspirations for us to start music. We really love our sister. But as far as our twin relationship, it's a weird thing. When people hear us play, they think that we're able to play together like we do because of our genetic relationship.
Well, it is that way for singers. When you hear singers, families of singers, they just are so tight and in tune, and there's something, there is a familial quality about their voice. So I'm sure the makeup of your whole anatomy allows you to get some similar sounds and whatnot.
Yeah, well, we've certainly spent a lot of time together.
Yeah.
Practicing, rehearsing, traveling on the road, performing together. And I think to really get on a certain level, especially in the jazz idiom, bands need to play together for a lot of hours. They say that the Beatles played 10,000 hours together before they got famous. And so I think it's true in any idiom, but especially jazz, where it's very interactive and very spur of the moment. So, a lot of times when we're performing, we can kind of predict what the other one is going to play, which helps a lot.
Sure.
So why on earth, seriously, would you have picked the same instrument? It seems like you could have a trio, like a rhythm section.
Maybe they had one sax lying around and they just fought for it.
Wendy, if you didn't notice in that recording, I was playing the alto and Pete was playing the tenor. So there's a big difference.
So yes, but it just seems that.
But wait a minute, are you saying then you don't do tenor? I'm sure you play. Do you play all the saxes?
Well, we both play clarinet. We both play flute, but mainly you'll see Peter on tenor and alto.
Right.
But occasionally we do switch, and then that really messes people up.
Right.
So I should ask that because I actually have never met you in person. Are you in order, the way your names are written? Is that Peter and that's Will?
Trying to find who was spanked first.
This is me, Peter.
Okay, good.
And so I was lucky. I got my name first, but I mainly play the tenor, and Will mainly plays the alto. The alto is the higher saxophone. So usually when we're playing, Will kind of plays the lead part. But in jazz, the tenor player in the big band was always the soloist.
Yeah.
So there's a big tradition of the first tenor taking a lot of solos. So in our band, I do get a lot of solo opportunities. We do kind of try to trade off as much as we can.
Yeah.
You probably saw it in that video.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes we play together and sometimes apart.
Yeah.
And who's better?
I'm obviously better. That's an easy answer.
It depends on who you ask. Yeah.
So now, when did you start, and did you start at the same time, or did one of you sort of venture forward first?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not sure about the hour and minute of the day, but we did both start playing on the same day.
Really?
Well, it was the third grade, and we were actually watching TV one day before we started playing music, and there was a commercial on TV, and we were both glued to the screen with this commercial because the commercial was for Chips Ahoy cookies.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the soundtrack to the commercial was Benny Goodman's Sing, Sing, Sing.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
And so that kind of sparked an interest in the jazz clarinet. and so we both started playing in our public school instrumental program on the clarinet, and they didn't let fourth graders start on the saxophone. So then a year later we added the saxophone.
Oh, that's so funny.
That's something. Now, you said your sister was a musician. Were your parents?
Playing violin.
No, our parents don't play. I mean, my dad thinks that he can sing.
Okay.
But not so much. We have some artists though. Our aunt is a piano teacher. Our uncle is an architect and an artist. So we kind of have some artists in the family, but no famous professional musicians or anything like that.
But so clearly, though, they were supportive of you choosing instruments and get going on that path.
Yeah, very supportive, and our mom in particular is just a lover of jazz and the Great American Songbook, and we never got to meet her father, but he had a massive jazz collection.
Oh, wow.
That's kind of cool to know. He loved jazz, and I wish we got to meet him and he got to hear us.
Yeah.
But we definitely have on both sides of the family. We've got some art, love of music. So
Great. Well, we definitely have a lot more to talk about. But since we have you there, and I see some instruments in hand, how about you play something live for us?
Cool.
Yeah, sounds good. So the first tune that we prepared is a song by Benny Goodman, who was, perhaps the greatest clarinetist in jazz history. And this tune kind of got famous with a ton of bands. It kind of broke out of his repertoire, and a lot of people played it. It's called Airmail Special.
All right.
All right. Yeah.
Woo! Amazing.
So good. That is so good.
That's amazing. So what you guys started music together in elementary school. When do you think it kind of dawned on you that this was it for you?
That's a good question. It's a little bit hard to remember, but being in the Washington, D.C. area, we're originally from Bethesda, Maryland. There's a number of military service bands
Oh, sure.
that are just of very high quality. They're all professionals on salary, and they're some of the top players in the country. The Army Blues, the Airmen of Note,
Right.
the Jazz Ambassadors, and what am I missing? There's a couple more. So we got the opportunity to hear these bands on a regular basis, playing some of the classics by Ellington and Basie. So our mom says that one day we ran into the kitchen after a concert and we told her that we know what we want to do for the rest of our lives.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
So I don't remember it, but she says it happened. So
That's amazing. So we got a picture of you guys when you're about 13 in this picture.
Yeah.
So was there a lot of competition? Were you constantly like, who's first chair? I'm first chair. Like that kind of thing?
We've never, Wendy, we've never been competitive at all in our entire lives. Just no.
Are you lying?
No shred of competitive at all.
I can't tell whether you're joking or not.
I've got a dry sense of humor.
Yeah, we were always auditioning for various groups. There was, there was our high school groups, and there was like all county and all state and all Eastern, and just like a few, auditions all the time. And, usually Will won some and I won some, and somehow it kind of like balanced out in the end.
Have you kept count?
No, I think we lost count.
We don't want things to get ugly here.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then you ended up going to Juilliard together.
Yeah, that was really great because Juilliard is an excellent experience. There were just a ton of great teachers and kind of mentors that we had there. And then, of course, in addition, coming to New York City, outside of the school, there's probably more to discover and
Right.
more. We were going to places like Jazz Lincoln Center and Birdland, the Blue Note, the Village Vanguard. To just go to all these legendary places and meet people like Jimmy Heath,
Right.
Wycliffe Gordon, Bill Charlap, Barry Harris, just a ton of great players.
Right. We have a picture of one of your mentors here. You can talk about
Oh
this.
yeah, so that's our teacher Paul Carr, and he taught us all the way through high school in Maryland.
Wow.
And, Paul is like. He should be an internationally touring musician. He should be in New York and all over the place, but he's really dedicated himself to teaching. And I say that, in all truth. Like he's an amazing player, and he has an excellent kind of way of getting young players to advance very quickly. And we really owe like a lot of what we know to Paul Carr. He runs the Mid-Atlantic Jazz Festival. He runs a big band called the Jazz Academy Youth Orchestra.
Okay.
He's just great.
Wow. As a teacher, someone who's decided to devote their life to that rather than being a touring artist or whatever, it has to be gratifying for them to have students like yourselves that have gone on, are trailblazing and making their names known.
He's had so many students that are professionals now. There's another saxophonist named Jason Marshall, who's an international touring artist at Braxton Cook. There's another guy named Alex Hoffman, Tommy Gardner, Elijah Ballbed, just like great players, and they were all studying with Paul on a weekly basis throughout high school. So, and we're happy to be in that family.
So it looks like who is chiming in here? Jane Reardon. That's your
sister.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice, very nice.
So she's watching. Yay!
Great.
Next time she shows up and plays some violin with y'all.
Cool.
Oh yeah, I think we need to have that, make that happen. Excellent. And did both of you, you're playing a very specific style of music. It seems in general you're veering towards the, I would say, more traditional. You both kind of followed that same path throughout.
Yeah.
There's not a Wynton Brandon thing going on.
Well, you know, that first photo you showed when we're in those tuxes and red cummerbunds and red bow ties.
Yeah.
So that was a band that we joined when we had just finished middle school, and
Right.
it was
It's amazing.
it was a semi-professional group that was you had to be under the age of 28, I believe, and it was led by a gentleman named Dave Robinson. It was part of the Potomac River Jazz Club, which was a local jazz club, and the band was really special. I mean, a really unique thing. It focused on early 1920s and 30s jazz.
Okay.
So it was like a polyphonic kind of collective,
Wow.
early New Orleans style.
Right.
So
Yeah,
we played
sure.
all Jelly Roll Morton and King Oliver and Louis Armstrong. We played all this great repertoire, and we actually also toured around the world. We did a
Wow.
big tour of the United Kingdom, and I have to say that was really important to me, just getting exposed to all the really early jazz stuff.
Right.
By the way, I don't know if you know a saxophone player named Scott Robinson.
I do not.
So his brother is the director, Dave Robinson.
Okay.
It was just really important to get a foundation. I mean, I think anyone who gets interested in jazz, you really have to check out Sidney Bechet,
Right.
Louis Armstrong, Lester Young, some of these first great
Yeah.
soloists. So
Yeah.
I think being is that my brother and I kind of started off our careers that way, it's hard to get away from that style.
Right. And it's all because of that Chips Ahoy commercial.
Oh yeah, yeah. First and foremost, we have to thank Chips Ahoy. We're still working on an official partnership, like a sponsorship.
Well, I think this might do it.
Oh,
I think.
yeah. That's funny.
I like that.
And so let's. What do you think we do another video?
Yeah.
Cool.
I think what we have up here is a version of your version of Indiana. You want to tell us about this session?
Yeah. So we recently we went to the home of one of our mentors in New York. His name's Vince Giordano, and he's a wonderful player who's dedicated his whole career to playing like the very early styles of jazz.
Okay.
And Vince plays the upright bass. He plays the tuba and he plays the bass saxophone.
I think we have a
And he's
picture.
got them all there, and he kind of like switches between them. So we were just really lucky to have this recording session with him, so we can kind of document some of our collaborations with Vince.
Very cool.
All right, the Andersons playing Indiana.
again in Indiana. And it seems that I can see that burning candlelight still shining bright through the sycamore on me. That new mown hay sends all its fragrance from the fields I used to roam. When I dream about that moonlight on the Wabash, then I think about Paul Wells on the drums. Yeah.
Wow,
That was amazing. Sorry, we just got reprimanded for using it amazing too much. So
I thought it was also stupendous and mind-boggling,
Phenomenal.
inspiring.
incredible.
Yeah. Bit intriguing, perhaps.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Yeah, that's really good stuff. Really good stuff. And when was that?
That was about, let's see, it was about 3 months ago. We were supposed to give a big performance at a high school in Metuchen, New Jersey, and when the coronavirus hit, we instead did a recording session, and all the students watched it on the big screen because they didn't want strangers and that sort of thing coming into to the public schools. So maybe we'll get to do that next year, but for this year it was just a recording session.
Right. And throughout, I know it's been a crazy little bit over a year, and I know that are you both educators?
Yeah, we teach privately, and we teach at a bunch of schools in the New York area, kind of both ensembles and private lessons.
That's great.
So, well, obviously the ensemble thing was probably dwindled to nothing, but were you able to maintain some of the teaching?
Yeah,
things?
I mean, this past year we both have some students, and most of them are through Zoom like this,
right.
Just teaching privately, which if you adapt in the right way, it works pretty well.
Right.
And we've also been doing something the last year quite a bit. We've formed a regular stint right down the street from us, right in front of Duke Ellington's house. We've been playing every Saturday and Sunday.
I think we have a picture of that,
So
don't we?
That's really been a
It's
blast.
that one, 11.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at that.
Yeah, we're on the Upper West Side, and there's just so much history, and so many of our neighbors just are big jazz lovers. So we get big crowds coming to see us, and we're really grateful for that.
And how often do you do that?
Every Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, that's great.
When did that kick in again?
Well, we started just in the beginning of the year. We actually started in January when it was really cold out. People were really hungry for the music.
Yeah.
Riverside Park is a great place where people congregate on the weekends, and especially during this time when people are inside so much, people really want to get out and interact with people, and so what better way to do that than music? So it's been going well.
Yeah, and we've been every artist we've talked to that has started to get back into live playing realized that it's almost something we took for granted.
Playing with other people.
Just that dynamic of having an audience,
Right.
and of course just the actual live playing, as opposed to there was some great creativity, right, with all the virtual things.
Yeah,
But
we came up. We had some, really interesting things come out of it, but there's nothing replaces that live element.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's why we love the Miami Jazz Co-op so much. I mean, Rick Katz, as you mentioned at the beginning, we've kind of become a regular because we usually make it down to Florida at least twice a year, and Rick Katz always arranges some performance for us.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
he's really dedicated to especially younger musicians getting a place to play.
right.
And really kind of generating the audience. So we really appreciate that.
Yeah, well, if all goes well, hopefully we'll have you guys back next year.
Yeah.
Realistically speaking.
Well, I saw some dates on your calendar, so I mean,
Yeah, things
slowly
are-
but surely.
Things are opening up this summer. New York got hit really hard by the
Yes.
coronavirus, so
Yes.
they were slower to come back. But there's we're going this summer. We're going to Texas, Oregon, and also some states in the Northeast like Massachusetts and
Nice.
Maryland, and so these are all live concerts that we're doing.
And who will you be performing with? Are you doing your group or just meeting up with musicians at these various places?
It kind of depends. Sometimes we will travel with our entire ensemble, and sometimes we'll play with local musicians. The festival in Odessa, Texas is going to be a blast because that's what they call a jazz party.
Okay.
And they used to be more prevalent, not so much anymore, but it's kind of like an all-star cast of musicians, and we all come together and then just kind of mix up into different configurations for every different song. So we're going to have Harry Allen, a saxophonist, Rossano Sportiello, pianist, and about 10 or 15.
Yeah, Warren Vichet, Nikki Perrott, Randy Stanky, Chuck Red. It's going to be really fun.
Wow. Sounds like fun.
So that's kind of a special thing where we get to do something like that. But yeah, it's especially being a jazz musician, like every situation is just completely different. When we came down to Miami in 2000, I guess it was last year. Yeah, just last February. We had a local rhythm section, and then we were joined by a great trumpet player at the University of Miami named Brian Lynch,
Yeah.
and he was awesome to play with. So
He's amazing. I think we do have a picture of that also.
cool.
With
Yeah,
Brian
that was
Lynch.
a blast. That was at the hospital.
Yeah, Jackson Hospital.
Yeah,
Jazz at Jackson.
Yeah, Brian has been, we haven't spent as much time with him as we've liked, but he's just been a great inspiration to us, and we can't thank him enough for the time he spent with us. The fact that he would even agree to perform with us is just an honor, because Brian's very special, and
Yeah.
Miami should be proud that they have him down there.
Yeah, he's got a great spirit, doesn't he?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Such a lovely man.
Yeah, and of course that venue again, hopefully will come back
Yes, because that's outside too.
soon,
And-
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's in front of the hospital
Yeah.
in downtown Miami. I can't remember how many years we played there in a row. We've been down and played for the Miami Jazz Co-op 6 years in a row.
Wow.
And just the last 3 years. Oh, yeah, there it is. It says Jackson. So that's Jazz at Jackson.
Yeah.
Right.
And yeah, that's a really cool venue there.
It's a fun venue. It's just, and it's really nice to think that you can be playing live music for people that really could use it. It's for not just patients, it's for the people who work there, doctors, nurses, orderlies, plus the people that take care of, the patients,
Yeah.
driving them around and stuff. So it's really a nice, plus the public can also go. So it's all around
Right.
nice.
Now you've mentioned Wycliffe Gordon a few times. We have this great photo.
Oh yeah, that was actually at a really special event that my brother and I attended, and we got the opportunity to perform with the Jazz at Lincoln Center Orchestra. It was actually a memorial event honoring our saxophone mentor by the name of Joe Temperley, and Joe Temperley was played in the Duke Ellington Orchestra, and then in the Jazz at Lincoln Center Orchestra, and he passed away, and that was an event honoring Joe.
Yeah, because you guys set up a scholarship in his name, correct, for Juilliard?
Yeah. So after Joe passed, we organized a lot of our fans and friends and benefactors, and we actually established a scholarship in his name. So there's students that go to Juilliard now and receive this Joe Temperley scholarship.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So that was we were glad we were able to do that.
Great. And of course, the great Wynton Marsalis is.
Yeah, there's Wynton, and there's Wycliffe holding a sousaphone because.
Because somebody has to.
Well, yeah. During the memorial, we did a New Orleans parade, which is a traditional,
right,
like a funeral parade.
The funeral, yeah.
Yeah. So, and it was Wynton and Wycliffe, and we had about a dozen of Joe's former students, and so we did it in the tradition of New Orleans.
I love that.
That was cool. Yeah.
How about we hear you guys play something else?
Cool. Yeah, sounds good. I think we're going to dip into the songbook of the great Duke Ellington.
Can't go wrong.
This is a song that he co-composed with his valve trombonist Juan Tizol.
Oh, nice.
So we hope you enjoy our version of Caravan.
Yeah, guys.
Very nice.
Love it. Love it.
Did the pandemic, did it cause you, there were those who stopped practicing at all and stopped playing?
Why are you looking at me?
And then there were those who like were just like shed whores, basically. You know? What did you find one way or the other that you just enjoyed?
Yeah, well, a lot of musicians that we've been talking to have actually said that they've had more time to practice now.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. It could go either way, though.
Yeah, because you know, being a professional musician involves a lot of things other than playing. Unfortunately, you know,
Yes.
like time traveling in the car, on the plane, making phone calls, signing contracts, just all sorts of stuff. So,
Yep.
in a certain way, like it's given us a little bit more time. And hopefully, when this subsides, maybe musicians will come back to the bandstand with a little bit more punch in their sound and a little bit more practice. So we'll see.
Well, the interesting thing too, I find, is, you know, when you have, I mean, we had to take a break. There is something that, the juices get flowing again. Sometimes, you gig a lot, but when you're gigging a lot, you don't really practice, because you're gigging so much, there's not really time to practice. So it's kind of interesting to all of a sudden have like new ideas flowing through you and coming out of you. Like, where did that come from? Like,
Yeah, no, I totally hear you there. Sometimes even a little time off, you come back and you're fresh with new ideas.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of
a year might be a bit extreme, but
yeah.
Of course. Do you guys live close to each other?
Yes, yeah, we actually live in the same building.
Oh, that's pretty close.
So yeah, it made it convenient to get together and do this.
Of course.
So.
Yeah. We have several other pictures here for you guys to shed light on.
Ah, great. Oh, cool. Yeah. So this is something that we did fairly recently. About 2 years ago, we recorded an album with the great drummer Jimmy Cobb.
Nice.
So Jimmy's in the middle there, and it's been a dream of ours for years to perform and record with Jimmy. Of course, he was one of the greatest drummers of all time. Played with Miles Davis for many, many years, and we lost Jimmy Cobb last year, unfortunately. But our most recent album is with this band. So this is a picture of us in the studio. That's
Nice.
Jed Patton on the left there, our pianist, and Dave Wong, our bassist, on the right.
Very
So
nice.
we
That's great.
Really had a ball. Yeah.
And we did touch upon the teaching. Here's some serious shaping of the future there.
Yeah,
Looks
so
like the
this-
Pied Piper.
Yeah, this was at an elementary school in Texas on one of our tours, and when we were communicating with the school, and we were saying, yeah, so we'd love to come, we'd love to perform for the students, and they said, okay, you'll come, and we'll have some students come in, and so when we arrived, they directed us toward the gymnasium, and slowly classrooms of kids started rolling in, and before we knew it, the entire gymnasium was like elbow to elbow.
Wow.
With these young kids.
Wow. And that, of course, is Peter, but you were both there doing this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we were both there, and obviously this was pre-pandemic.
Right, of course.
So, it was really a blast. I mean, pre-pandemic, we did this stuff all the time. We've actually visited over 100 public schools around the country.
Wow.
So, yeah, we have quite a list. Part of that is due to the support of our Reed sponsor, Didario. They made it possible for us to visit a lot of these schools, and generally we play for them. We talk about jazz and improvising and music, and the kids are just great to work with.
You get those great questions.
Yeah, oh yeah, we answer a lot of questions, and yeah, we just feel it's really important to introduce not only music to kids, but instruments.
Right.
Instrumental music, and also, good music to young kids. So we, whenever we play for them, we play Rhapsody in Blue.
Sure.
We play the Pink Panther.
Yeah.
We play, we introduce them to people like Louis Armstrong and Duke Ellington, and when kids are that young, they just eat it up. They love it.
Right. There are no barriers with kids. They haven't been taught that yet.
Yeah.
They're ready to absorb anything, and for them it's just something new.
Exactly. Yeah. We played at one school, and we played a song from The Sound of Music, My Favorite Things.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then we realized at some point during the song that all of the students were singing along while we were playing.
Wow.
That's so cool.
So that was pretty cool. So yeah, we really like doing that as much as possible.
And hey, you never know who it's going to inspire, because if you guys were inspired by a chocolate chip cookie commercial,
Listen, the odds are that there at least a handful of those kids are on their way to becoming musicians.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Well, I know, it's funny. I mean, I didn't stick with it, but when I was in junior high, when I was in elementary school, actually, I think I saw the movie The Man with the Horn. And because of that, when the time came to join band, I played trumpet for a couple of years, just because there was something about that sound that really spoke to me.
Yeah.
But,
cool.
So you never know. That is true. That's just wonderful.
Yeah. Let's do another video.
Yeah.
This is you guys performing These Foolish Things,
what a great
which
song.
is a beautiful performance. Check it out, and we'll come back and talk some more.
All right.
Woo woo.
Yes. What a beautiful song.
Yeah,
It's a great one.
Indeed. Yeah, sung by Frank Sinatra, played by Benny Goodman. So many great versions of it.
There really are.
Somehow the Great American Songbook is hanging in there, huh? It just doesn't seem to be going away, which is lovely.
It'll never go away. Don't worry.
Yeah, the lyrics are so clever, and they're married so beautifully to the melodies, and yeah, I can't imagine. I don't think they will ever go away, for
I don't
sure.
think so either. Yeah, I wouldn't worry.
Good.
At least not in my lifetime.
Right.
I don't care what happens after I'm gone.
That's a good attitude. I like it.
Well, I do what I can while I'm here, and then I can't worry about it.
Yeah.
So we can talk a little bit about your life these days, being married, and you want to tell us a little bit about your beautiful families?
Sure. Yeah, that's Amanda, my wife, and yeah, we're actually living it up. That's on Martha's Vineyard.
Ooh.
Yeah, we took a day and visited. So that was a really cool trip we took, and that was last summer. So and that's our wedding. Yeah, that was October 2019.
Looks
Oh. October during the pandemic.
No.
No.
Wait.
A year, a little bit before that.
2019.
2020.
Oh yeah, 2020 is when it
Yeah,
happened. That's right.
We almost had
Okay.
the wedding in the spring of 2020, but luckily we didn't because we would have had to cancel it.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah, so we lucked out. But yeah, things are great. Amanda's a nurse, so she had
Ooh,
a
wow.
little
Is
bit
she?
of a rough spring and summer with pretty busy at the hospital. But we got a puppy to help with the stress.
Oh.
So
Oh, a little emotional
that was good.
support.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, things have been good, and things are kind of back to normal back at the hospital. And now I'm an uncle, so I've got
Congratulations.
I've got responsibilities.
Congratulations.
That's very important
Well,
responsibilities.
I guess that will bring us right over to Peter.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so that's my wife Rachel, and you can't see him, but that's my son Jude. He's almost 2 now.
Well, we have some pictures of Jude.
Okay, awesome.
With the uncle.
There we go. That's one of the first pictures that my brother and I have with Jude. That was at the hospital when he was just born.
Just beautiful.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
And we have another picture of Jude.
Is this truly a sign of things to come?
All right, yeah, yeah. So that's at our weekly gig in Riverside Park in front of Duke Ellington's house. Actually, the street that we're playing on has been renamed Duke Ellington Boulevard. So there's it's kind of like a historic block, and yeah, Jude comes every weekend. And right when we finish playing, I'm hoping that he'll run up to the clarinet and grab the clarinet, but no, he runs up to our drummer Alex and
of course, there's nothing more fun than banging stuff.
Yeah, so he's really
And if he did go to the clarinet, it would be to hit the snare drum with it.
Yeah.
That's true.
So he goes to the drumstick, so maybe he'll be a drummer. We'll see.
Well, he is just adorable.
Cool, thanks. Yeah.
Would you like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, every band needs a drummer. So
Well, you guys don't.
yeah.
But
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually we do a lot of performing with the group that you just saw with just a guitarist, and
yeah,
we've really had a blast with that group.
it's a great sound.
Yeah, I mean it was your idea, and yeah, that was Alex Wentz in that video. So we do kind of need a special player to fill that role,
Right.
but it's been really just artistically really fulfilling. We get to experiment with the different combination of the woodwinds, and you
Right.
know, I can play very soft on the flute or
Yep.
on the clarinet, and it works well. So I guess every band doesn't need a drummer.
Yeah. Oh, and you're right. It does. It just takes you.
It opens up
to a different place.
Sonic, this like sonic space, so you can
Yeah.
kind of play. Yeah, that's nice. Well, I would love to hear some more live music from you guys who don't need a drummer.
Maybe
Or
we can even do a couple.
yes. So yeah, would you mind just playing a couple tunes for us?
Yeah, absolutely.
And we'll sit back and drink something.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah. So
To you guys.
yeah. So we're gonna play a famous song in jazz music, and I mentioned Duke Ellington Boulevard. A lot of the streets in New York have been renamed after great jazz composers, and down in the Times Square area we have W.C. Handy Way. And W.C. Handy was a great composer that wrote this song. This is called the St. Louis Blues. One, two, one,
So that was called the St. Louis Blues, and that was actually one of the first songs that we ever played together in the Federal Focus Jazz Band, led by Dave Robinson, who I mentioned earlier was just one of our teachers and a great influence of ours. And now we're gonna speed things up a little bit and play a song that was actually animated by Disney for Benny Goodman's version of this one. And this is going to be a little fast, so we're going to see how fast we can play it. This is called After You've Gone.
Bravo! Bravo!
That really is so much fun. It's
So good.
You know, I have to say, you guys make it so entertaining. The whole, 2-instrument thing. It's just you really have it down, man.
Yeah, you do. That's got to be done right, or it won't work.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, we really appreciate it. Well, I mean, that's one of the great things about jazz. It's really about interaction with the other people you're playing.
Yeah.
In classical music, you're reading a sheet of music and you're trying to play exactly what's on the page, but that might not line up with how you're feeling in the moment or how you want to respond to the other musician. It's really hard to get everything going the right way. Sometimes it doesn't really work out, and sometimes it does. So that's part of the thrill of it.
That's it.
That is true.
That's it. Are you okay? How self-critical are you guys?
Pretty self-critical, I would say. Yeah, I mean that's part of being a musician. You really gotta put yourself out there,
You do.
And that's the kind of the advice that I always give my students is to constantly put yourself in uncomfortable situations where you're going to judge yourself and other people are going to judge you, because you have to get used to that, so whether it be playing for your family at Thanksgiving, or like a birthday party, or following your teacher around and trying to maybe sit in on their gig or something like that. Yeah, always putting yourself in new situations where you're not going to know the other musicians, or you're going to be a little bit nervous. It's really valuable. Even just auditioning for bands that you have no chance in making.
Right.
But after the audition, you're going to be a better musician because of it. So.
Well, nothing can replace just the experience, because you can work with a teacher, you can practice in your room, you can do, but that means nothing until you actually are standing up there doing it. And you learn, what I always tell my students is you learn so much more from your mistakes than you ever do from doing it right. So, mistake away.
Well, sort of following this train of thought, what do you both feel like you want to do musically that you haven't yet explored?
That's interesting. I mean, we're always trying to explore like new music, and we both write and arrange a lot of music. This summer we're playing at a festival for 2 weeks in Oregon. It's called the Oregon Festival of American Music.
Nice.
And the theme of the festival is movie music. So as part of that festival, we're going to be arranging music by Bernard Herrmann.
Oh, wow.
And Otto Preminger and Duke Ellington and all this kind of new stuff.
Yeah.
So music is endless. There's really a lot to explore, and we haven't really delved into any of that movie reel music yet. So that'll be a real thrill to get to perform. I mean, there's kind of like an endless amount of music just to learn.
Right.
Both to commit to memory, but also to arrange and to perform. So I don't think we'll ever get tired of it.
Did both of you do any classical studying?
Yeah, I feel like in the past hour or so we've thrown a little shade at classical music. Maybe
I don't think you did.
No,
it is a different world for sure.
Yeah. I didn't want it to come off that way, because we're both big fans of classical music and classical musicians, and whether it be Beethoven, Brahms, Mozart, Bach.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
They're pretty amazing. And if it honestly, if it weren't for those composers, jazz would not exist.
They were improvisers, a lot of them, right? The Bachs and the Handels and the Chopin.
Yeah. Not only were they improvisers, but they laid a foundation for harmony that we wouldn't have. I mean, all the jazz harmony came from classical music, essentially. So, starting off in middle school and high school, we studied with, in addition to Paul Carr, who we mentioned, we also studied clarinet classically. We went to, different workshops and camps, and played orchestral excerpts, and we played in woodwind quintets, and did as much as we could. So I'd say that's it was a big part of our development, and it's continually part of our development. Also, a lot of times when we perform, we actually play classical themes in a jazz style.
Okay.
So we've got a version that we've worked up of Clair de Lune by Claude
Debussy.
Debussy.
Yeah.
And we also do some Bach too. So Thelonious Monk said that classical and jazz are one and the same, and I think it's a good way to look at it.
I mean, for me, you hear Bach and Charlie Parker. I mean, the voice leading, that
Totally.
perfect voice leading. You could see it. You could see where that all sort of that lineage, went to.
Exactly.
And like everything else, right? It just grows. So something grows out of something else.
Right.
There's none of music lives in a vacuum.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, recently, my brother and I got the opportunity to compose a piece for symphonic wind ensemble and choir for the Scranton University music program, and that was, speaking of new uncomfortable situations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was definitely one of them. So that was a learning experience and a thrill to
Great.
compose for essentially classical musicians, and maybe try to stretch their comfort zone.
Stretch yours and theirs as well.
Exactly.
Well, as teachers, have you both had classical people come to you to learn some of the idiom, the improvisation and all that?
Oh yeah, I mean, a lot of our students are actually very proficient on their instrument. They've studied classical music, all the fundamentals that you learn as a classical musician,
Right.
like intonation and technique and posture and articulation. A lot of our students kind of have those things down as well as we do in some respects. But yeah, learning a song by ear and learning the chord structure and putting a lot of jazz inflection and jazz
Right.
style
Right.
into the music, those are the kind of things that they want to learn. So
Yeah. That's great. Great. So immediately, what was on the calendar? What are the next few things coming up?
oh well, we're playing every Saturday and Sunday in front of Duke Ellington's
Right.
house. So if anyone's in New York and they want to see us,
At what
they can
time?
check that out. 3 to 5.
Okay.
But then let's see. Well, then we have I guess the next big thing is we're going to the first weekend in June. We're going to Texas to play at the
Right.
West Texas Jazz Party. July we're going to be at the Oregon Festival of American Music. Oh, and right in the
June.
yeah, in June we're going to be playing at the Deer Head Inn, which is in Delaware Water Gap of
Sure.
Pennsylvania.
Famous place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, all of that's on our website. I can only keep track of what's tomorrow. So
I hear you. Here's the website for those
Peter
in
and
the
Will
audience.
Anderson.com.
Yeah.
And you can check out all of their stuff on YouTube. There's so much out there, so it's a lot of fun to just get lost in there for a little bit, exploring.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, God, this has been such a pleasure. You guys both seem like real gentlemen, nice guys, obviously great musicians,
Yeah.
educators. You're doing all the right things, for crying out loud. That makes it warms the cockles of my
Oh
heart.
my gosh. Well, and listen, we can't wait for you to wend your way back down here
Yeah.
to Miami.
Yeah, we hope to see you very, very soon. Things are looking better.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, well, thanks for hosting us, and thanks for everything that you do to support artists and live music and jazz. Thank you.
So we're going to play a video to go out on.
They could choose.
Yeah. So what are their options?
The options are Blues Walk or Manteca. What do you guys say?
Oh, you want to do, yeah. Let's do Blues Walk. That's a good number with the whole quintet, so that's a good one.
Okay.
All right. And you want to tell us when was that performed?
yeah, sure. This was in this great venue in Philadelphia called Chris's, and it was actually last fall, and it's with a great band. I can remember the band. It's with Phil Stewart on drums, Neo Miner on the bass, and then Steve Ash on the piano. And when you have a rhythm section like that, it's just it's really a blast.
Makes it easy.
Yeah, so we really had fun for this one.
Great. Thanks again, and ladies and gentlemen, Peter and Will Anderson.
Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you.
There you have it.
Ooh, so musical. That is really fun.
Peter and Will Anderson.
Amazing. So fun to
Great
meet
players,
them, talk
nice,
to them.
nice young guys.
Learn about
we never
them.
did find out how old they are, did we?
No.
Yeah, they're a lot younger than us.
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
No, just it's really nice to hear young musicians carrying the torch.
Yeah. Then they sound fantastic, and they're fun.
They are fun.
Yeah.
They are
So
fun.
yeah, that's good. That makes
Well.
yeah. Yes, it's you've wasted another night with us, and we're so glad you did. We have so much fun stuff coming up also, so we want to let you know about it. But first, we want to thank our partners in this rendezvous. It's not
Venture.
quite the word venture. I like that better. There's a V in both.
There it is.
Yeah. This venture. So thank you so much to sunshinejazz.org, that's the Sunshine Jazz Organization, the SJO. We want to let you know that every Sunday they are hosting a jazz brunch, and here to tell you more is Keith.
Ballas.
Sunshine Jazz Organization is proud to be presenting world-renowned steel pan maestro Othello Molino at weekly Sunday jazz brunch from noon to 3 p.m. at KC Healthy Cooking, located on a spacious outdoor patio at 1900 Biscayne Boulevard, serving an excellent gourmet Caribbean menu and great jazz, led by Lloyd Hawkins and Ted McDermott. As Alice Day would say, hope to see your face in the place.
I love seeing, I love hearing him say Alice Day. As Alice Day would say, hope to see your face in the place. That just, I don't know, it makes me feel good. Want to also thank South Florida Jazz, and you can check out their website at southfloridajazz.org. They just are coming off of a really fantastic virtual concert series. It really was phenomenal, and we're so happy that, it was just another way of trying to get music out there, which is really important. Of course, the Miami Jazz Cooperative, you can find us there at miamijazz.org, and Gold Coast Jazz Society at goldcoastjazz.org. And Gold Coast Jazz is doing some stuff, so it's really kind of exciting. Which one are we going to talk about first, the big concert or the virtual
I think
thing?
we'll do it in order.
Which is?
I think we got Nicole first.
Okay, so there's an actual live in-person, socially distanced, but it's inside, and here to tell us, and it's the one and only Nicole Henry, who I love immensely.
Yeah.
So let's hear about that
From Pam Dearden.
I wish you bluebirds in the spring.
On May 12th at 7:45 p.m., the Gold Coast Jazz Society presents a live concert featuring jazz vocalist Nicole Henry in the Amaturo Theater of the Broward Center for the Performing Arts. Only a limited number of tickets remain, so purchase your tickets today at browardcenter.org. See you there.
More than wealth, I wish you love.
Yeah, and as if I believe that tickets are selling out like pretty well for that. So if you want to go, you need to get your tickets, because she's just a hoot, and she's so classy and beautiful and charming, and she sings and swings her little butt off. And she's always a fun hang. So definitely want to check that out. And then also Gold Coast is doing a virtual thing, which will be featuring the one and only me, Wendy Peterson, with Jim Gage, which is the always phenomenal Jim Gager. So let's check and see when and how you can find out about that. Here it is.
I'm a sentimental sap, that's all.
Join us for a taste of jazz at home, sponsored by the City of Pompano Beach and the Gold Coast Jazz Society, on Thursday, May 13th at 7 p.m. online at pompanobeacharts.org. This episode features the beautiful vocals of Wendy Peterson and the amazing piano of Jim Gazer. See you then.
What's the use? You cooked my goose.
Yeah.
So definitely check that out. That will be online, and we had a lot of fun recording that. Got to play some songs that we haven't played in a long time, and it felt really good to to be doing it, so live and in person. So please check that out. Watch live with us, and we will try to, answer. If you comment something, we're going to try to be there to be able to answer it and talk back to you a little bit at the time. So that's really fun. What's coming up next, you ask? I know you're so curious. What is coming up next, Nikki?
Well, next week we have the phenomenal Mike Gerber on
Fantastic,
piano.
phenomenal,
Wonderful, sublime.
Oh, I like
amazing.
it. Delicious, as Rick Katz would say.
Yes.
Mike Gerber, he will be playing on Jim Gazier's beautiful piano. We had the piano summit there at his house, and it was just really great sounding, and it was a lot of fun. So Mike Gerber will be playing solo piano next Monday night, May 10th at 8 p.m. Don't miss it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and we'll get to talk to him, and I'll get to learn a lot more about Mike. And then after that, we've got another live so you're going to be really, really, really working your tail off.
I'm ready.
We're going back to the Jazzport,
Yep.
which is fun. We haven't been there in a while. And we will be featuring the guitarist John Hart, who has a brand new CD coming out. And he is fantastic. And I'm not sure who he's bringing with him.
I believe it's good, but he will be playing with the trio.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
So that will be live. And we will also talk to him a little bit. And he'll be playing. And it should be a lot of fun. So we hope you join us every Monday night. We look forward to learning and listening to all these amazing musicians. I hope you stay safe. I hope you stay healthy and happy, and we will see you soon.
Good night, everyone.
Thanks.